if everyone can also just make their closing statements, if any additional statements you'd like to add, and then we'd try to wrap up the session in the interest of time. And Dr. Dolly can close with her opening statement as well after this.
When we're saying that we are Naga, that is a fiction. So as you rightfully said, it's a political construct. So what ties us together? One is the struggle for self-determination. The political struggle that we've had in society came down to the village. And therefore the values and the education that was imparted to the community stems from propagating or keeping alive that organism. So we need to look at our value sets, our value systems. How is it compatible with the world that we live in? We need to go through a process of rationalization, a process of discernment. How do we discern when we're taking in other worlds, other thoughts, other practices? How we discern what is good for our community? And I think that's only left for us to decide. So we need to develop the skills to be able to discern and rationalize those. So I think it's a process, and it'll be an ongoing process.
Research on this. There was a BD thesis done by a Sumi pastor, I forgot his name, on the role of family in giving. Apart from that, we don't have much literature on that as well. But I think this will be my closing statement. I think this is one very important area of disability, intellectual disability and physical disability of the Nagas.
So much, I think, that we can talk about. Please feel free to carry the conversation over lunch. We are yet to hear from the two student respondents too, so I'll just close the session for now and
for the panel discussion. Would like to call upon Arindam Joshi from SPU and R. Tanaija Ruvi from SMU to take your turns.
जय जिनेंद्र आओ आमणी जो खूब अभिनंदन मनातो. This was from my mother tongue in Kutchi. It translates to greetings everyone, and I'm really grateful to be here today. And my name is Arindam Joshi. So today's talk, it was really thought-provoking, and I guess we can all agree that education is a really important issue, and no one particular policy can work for the entire country. And when I think about it, like, it takes me back to my village. I'm from Guwahati in the Talasri Taluka. It's a taluka in Maharashtra, and the region is dominated by the Guwahati tribe, the Guwahati community, Pune University, studying in the second year. So my uncle and my family, we run a not-for-profit organization called Read a Story, where we focus on teaching English to the students of various communities. Or what it's seen is that English forms like a base for further higher education, and most of the students aren't well versed in the language, and because of that they don't get equal opportunity or representation. So what we at Read a Story do is that we focus on connectivity and teaching basic English and providing opportunities for the Wali students to further, inculcate the, it's a phone conversation or online teaching between volunteers of the organization and students of the community or school. So we work with local Zilla Parishad schools or other NGOs to provide better education and facilities. And I'd like to conclude by saying that, at least from whatever everywhere, that people from local communities who speak different languages or are marginalized, they don't get the opportunity or they don't have the means to study in English, and this acts as a big barrier for their further dreams and ambitions, because everything we learn today and even this conference is in English. So for those of us who don't have the opportunity or who can't learn this language, they are just stuck where they are, and it hinders the overall development. So either there needs to be a more focus on a more inclusive education, or English needs to be provided as like a good education in English from the basic primary, pre-primary levels needs to be provided at least in the villages of Maharashtra itself, so that those students can get further higher education and they can follow their dreams and passions and become strong, independent individuals. Thank you.
Vanakkam everyone. Meaning of Vanakkam is a greeting from Tamil people. So I would like to thank Melbourne University and Tetso College for this opportunity. And my inference and my takeaways from this panel discussion is that self-assertion of our ethnicity is very important, and also like colonization has played a major role in the medium of English. We should never forget our own native language. And also storytelling, listening plays a very important role in learning our culture and tradition. So my major takeaway from this panel discussion is that valuing our emotions is very important, and also prioritizing our community will bring a drastic change in representing the marginalized community people.
End of this first session, the panel discussion. But before we wind up, I hope all of you will agree with me on this point that the panel discussion was indeed quite engaging, and also at the same time it has thrown a lot of questions to look upon further, and also to inculcate and also to introspect on our indigenous community and our indigenous values. Thank you all the panelists. And thank you the delegates as well as the students of the postgraduate students and the higher secondary students for attending this panel discussion. Okay. So after this we'll go for the lunch break, and for the lunch break I request the leading together delegates, faculty, event in charges and participants to head towards the hotspot for your lunch, and also the resource persons, that is the panel's dignitaries, the maintenance team, and also the IT team. Thank you everyone. You can now proceed for your lunch break.